and do lot of charitable works for poor and needy. His son Pitambaram was very good person. His son Pitambaram had 2 children. Pitambaram was also same like his father. He would really help poor and needy people and do lot of charitable works. One day there was very deadly disease that took over entire village. So many people died out of this disease. It was very harmful. Pitambara's wife and his daughter died from that disease, and when Pitambaram got sick, he became very skinny and lost a lot of weight. Pitambaram then decided that he only had one child to look after and he had to make a living for his son and his father. He then decided to work as a labor and make some money for his family. At that time, Vinayan looks at his son and he says this with concern.
My son, you look very ill. How would you be able to work as a labor in this condition that you are in? Let me go and beg for some rice and bring it back here for all of us.
Even after hearing what his father said, Pitambaram doesn't listen and he says this.
I'm still alive, father. You need not beg for anything as long as I'm here. Just now, they have started asking for people to work in the fields. Let me go there and get the job myself.
Pitambaram then left for the fields to work. Since he was so ill and weak, none of the people in the fields considered to give him a job. He was so weak that he was not able to hold the equipments required for the work. He then roamed around the fields till evening. He thought, how could I work with this weakness? And then he went back to the village. Coming into the village, he then begged to each and every house for some rice. After getting some rice from people, he went back to home by night. As soon as his father Vinayan looked at him, he said this.
Didn't I already tell you about this, son? Nobody will give you a job in this condition that you are in. Tomorrow we shall both go and beg for some rice.
Father, please do not think so negatively. Today we shall have what I have brought in. Tomorrow I will bring some good food for you all.
Are you crazy, my son? We barely have enough for all of us to survive. And where are you going to find a good food for all of us?
When Pitambaram was ill, his father brought in food by begging in the streets of village. Pitambaram did not like this incident, and since Pitambaram could only get a job after he had regained his strength, even he did not know what to do. He started thinking about doing illegal activities to make money, even though he had never done anything wrong in his entire life. At the same time, his father also suspected that Pitambaram would do something wrong to bring in food into house. Because of this, that night Vinayan wasn't able to sleep at all. He then woke up at the middle of the night to see what is happening and he left the house. He saw his son is not there. He waited for 1 hour. He then hears a sound from outside the house. Vinayan, without making a noise, he slowly went outside and he saw his own son, Pitambaram, chopping up and butchering a goat. He then thought of himself,
Oh God, my son who has never done anything wrong in his life is now doing a very heinous crime. Why, God, have you put me in this situation where I don't even know whether I should condemn my son for what he is doing, as I know the reason he is doing it to put food in the belly of his son and mine. What should I do, Lord?
Vinayan then went back to the house and slept. He kept thinking about what his son did and he couldn't sleep at all. He didn't realize that his son was doing that so he could not starve to death. Vinayan was thinking about the punishment that his son would receive for doing such a terrible act. His son took all the meat and then he butchered and put it on the top of the farm, and he went to house and he cleaned himself and went to bed and slept. The next day morning, Vinayan woke up and looked at his son and he said this to his son Pitambaram.
Come son, let us both go and beg for some food. We should go as early as possible. That will be helpful for us.
We do not need to beg for food, father. Didn't I tell you yesterday that I would give you good food today? Today we shall have some meat for all of us.
Where was this meat yesterday when we were starving for food? How did it come to you all of a sudden? I would rather die than eat food in an illegal